Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Seregen campaign. I am the Wombat of DM, and we are on session 53, and it's a special session. You're usually used to seeing us on a Tuesday, but we are here on a Saturday for this session because it's a special one. We are here at the Council of Relic. So, to kind of clue everyone in on everything, we have been traveling pretty quickly, trying to get to this council meeting in time, because the group would like to try and say their piece to try and get the barbarian clans to join them. Ultimately speaking, we did a little bit of out of character or in character play-by-post to get us the last bit of the journey. So they have crossed the river from last session through polymorphing, and then made due haste north to the outskirts of Saraseta, the Capitol building. But before I get too far into things, let me introduce the group, or let them introduce themselves. Go ahead, folks.
Hello, I am the Banewall, and I play Belzian Gilkis, who is a half-elf monk. Hiya!
I'm Amadeus, and I play Roger Mays, the Wood Elf Assassin. Wood Elf Assassin? Hopefully not this session.
I am Shade, and I play Ulrich Oakenhearth, the Human Paladin.
I am Jaeger, and I play Yarvik Venisonburger, halfling, I always mess this up, the halfling, ranger.
There he is.
I'm Atomic. I play both the Cobalt Sorcerer, and I have great plans that are not going to unfold at this session because they're awful.
And as I said before, I'm the Wombat of DM. Well, welcome everyone. We are here. We're ready. We've got some guest stars waiting to pop in once we get to the council meeting itself. But until we get there, let's kind of set the scene. The group is gifting Gale Force a sub. Excellent work. Thank you, Bane.
Got you, fam.
That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, so back to where we were. So we were on a plane kind of right outside of Saraseta. Saraseta is a sprawling city, which center point is a large tower that juts up from the middle of the city with a more rounded kind of viewing, not unlike the Space Needle in Seattle, but think of it more stonework and thicker around the base and middle. So it's not like an Eiffel Tower with that spaceship dome, but it's kind of it's constructed similar to that. It would remind you of that if you were in, if you yourself were viewing this right now. But ultimately speaking, this city seems to be centered around that tower. Presumably that might be where the council is currently waiting for you. I would say at this point you are probably about a mile away, within range of anybody who has a ring, who might be in the city.
Now seems like a good time to reach out to Rift and let him know we're here.
Yep. Let's
Say hi at the same time?
That
Yeah,
sounds
sure.
terrible.
Zippo, you've got his heart. Why don't you reach out and let him know that we were delayed, but that we're on our way and in the city.
Okay. Through the ring, Zippo will reach out to Rift and with Draconic, he will say, "We have finally made it, Rift. I apologize for being late. We didn't realize that that demon portal would open up on the way here."
Zippo. Demon portal?
Yeah, like right after we left, the portal opened and a bunch of demons flooded out. We fought some, that's why we were kind of late.
That's what's going on. Well, get here quickly. We have not started yet. We are still waiting on a member of the council to arrive. Bryn of the Eternal Clan. Get here quick.
That is where the portal opens in the Eternal Clan lands, by the way, right behind Illidan and behind the mountains.
He swears over the ring.
And I'll relate to the party that we need to hurry.
Alright, let's book it. Get us to that tower.
I like books. Let's go.
Rift informs Zippo that he's set things up for the group to be able to kind of fast track it to the council meeting. When you get to the city itself, you see that it actually has fortified walls around it in a circular shape. The city seems to be fairly well planned. It reminds you of cities back in Seregen. It's probably the most organized city you've seen so far. If you recall, back when we were in Ildris, it was kind of like a city built on a city on a city. It was very haphazard all over the place. This one seems to be quite organized. The person that meets you at the gate is a dragonborn. Has bronze tattoos, and he basically tells you that he was sent to guide you to the council and leads the way.
Greetings, brother. Lead the way.
While he is leading the way, is there any while he's leading the way, ultimately speaking, does the group have any thoughts or things that they want to talk about in terms of what's going to happen at the council meeting before we get into it?
Zippo's just gonna pull out his book where he's been drawing like all the demons and everything, and he'll get to those pages, and he has like he places like a little bit like he bends one of the pages as like a bookmark, so that when we get there, anybody asks about the demons, he can just pop the book out. They're not very good drawings at all; they're really bad, but they make sense to him.
I mean, I think we have a pretty clear agenda, right? We've got two goals. We're here to attempt to broker peace between the three regions of the world. And we also bring news of an emergency that's developing in Relic's backyard, so to speak.
It's worth noting that the Axe Clan probably won't be too happy with me, but you know, that's that.
We have a head of disguise, don't we? May not be wise to hide who you are exactly.
Yeah, I mean they know who Zippo was too. We're both caught.
Yeah.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
Literally the only people we've met that don't like us. I mean, how could they not?
I'll surrender the axe that I took from them if that brokers peace.
Or maybe they'll respect the strength of you keeping it.
Yeah, I mean,
Strange
we're
customs
just
here,
kind
after all.
of right. Well, we'll just kind of have to read the room, as it were.
Oh, that's your area of expertise, Mr. Landed Noble.
Yeah, that's right. That's definitely why I'm constantly out in the field at war, because I'm great at reading people.
So we should lead with the talks of peace, right? Or should we open with the demon invasion?
We'll lead with the talks of peace unless we hear... I don't know. I can see an argument for starting with either.
I mean, ultimately, I think they feed into each other.
Certainly,
Well,
yeah, certainly from what we've heard with this demon prince, claiming that the whole land is weak, not just Relic, and is intent to conquer the material world here. We can certainly use this demon incursion as a maybe not a bargaining chip, maybe a reason that we should all unite against this external threat.
I was just going to say, a common enemy can make even strange allies, work together. Not always long term, but I think they're going to need it for this situation.
I agree.
While you're being led through the city, you see that there are peoples of every single clan in Saraseta. It seems to be a collective city, a city that belongs to no clan, which I believe you've heard before from a few different members of the group, or of the different clans. Saraseta seems to be a Mod Podge, one that is upkept by the entire clan as a stronghold. There are no roads that lead directly to the tower. It seems like buildings are constructed in such a way that if somebody was invading the city, they would have to kind of maze their way through the city to get to the tower itself. So the city is definitely set up in a planned, defendable way. There are 3 sets of walls. It seems like the original city in the middle, the expanded city in the second layer, and then the outer city as the third wall. So you kind of are led through this. There are main thoroughfares. The roads are fairly large. You can see that there's many alleys and offshoots. The buildings themselves don't go very high. I think the highest would be 3 stories, except for the tower itself, which towers over the city quite substantially. It's quite a height. It's a wonder that it stands based on its size and girth. It's not like any tower you've ever seen. From what limited amount of experience you have with constructed buildings, doesn't seem like it should stay up, if that makes sense.
This building defies the laws of physics, which I know very little about.
Yes.
Maybe it's magic.
Don't be ridiculous. Nobody has ever built a building with magic.
After about 15 to 30 minutes, you have been led to the base of the structure. There, at the base of the structure, there seems to be an entrance room that you can cross and are led to. It's heavily guarded with some earth elementals, with weapons driven into the earth of it. It seems like almost like they're bladed elementals, which is interesting. In Terran, the 2 that are guarding the front entrance murmur a hello to the group. It sounds like a craggy, rough language that none of the group recognizes except for Zippo.
I wave back to them very excitedly and speak back in Earthen to them.
They nod, and the group is led further in. The base of the tower, you look up and you see that the tower itself is mainly hollow. You can see up for stories in this chamber, and you see a glowing light pulsing in a beam from the center all the way up to the top of the structure, presumably where the council chambers are, since this seems like an entrance room. On the opposite side from the entrance is what looks to be a disc elevator that has no pulleys or anything. The Dragonborn leads the group to the elevator, which after he motions to person next to the elevator, they activate it, and it begins rising fairly quickly up the shaft. To one side, it's not taking up the whole chamber itself. It's just on a small kind of antechamber to the main structure of the tower, and it lifts the group all the way up. You can see into the main chamber through openings. It's kind of like, think of it like if it's a big tower with a small semicircle that is not closed off from the main tower, so you can kind of see through the whole thing with bands of stone every so often for support reasons. You kind of get a sense of rush as like you're being raised at such a rapid rate up the shaft until you come to a stop at the top. Not abruptly, it slows and then stops before it reaches the top. So it's not like you might, if you looked up, might feel a sense of dread as you see the ceiling quickly approaching. But as the elevator slows, that dread goes away. You can see in front of you a large open circular chamber. The chamber has 10 seats with 9 figures sitting at them, and 2 large dragons. One you recognize to be Rift, one you recognize to be a black dragon. I'll describe the other council members while I bring them in. I'll pop them into the chat, so we should have everybody in, and I'll transfer us over to the guest star layout. Okay. So you're led forward, and you see a group of the council impatiently waiting. Rift kind of nods you in. So I'll describe the council members in order. We have, and actually, you know what? Let me get Roll20 up as well. So currently, for those who are watching in Twitch, you won't see the council map just yet, but the group should now see the council. Is that correct? Okay. As you can see, I made you folks figures as well, but you should see the council themselves. I'll start from the left and work my way to the right, that as they're displayed in the server. So, and by the server I mean in Twitch. So we have Nesset, who's the leader of the Druid clan. He's brown-haired, long beard, and has antlers sprouting from both sides. He's elvish in nature. He has long elvish ears. So you're not the only elf with facial hair there, Roger. Yeora Widespan has jet white hair, a sour expression. She's the leader of the Rock clan. She seems to be dressed in furs and looks to be suited for cold weather. There's Glorin Stormfell, a dark-skinned barbarian, Goliath, who has a shoulder pad that looks like the skull of an elephant. Maybe a young elephant, maybe middle-aged. Next to him is Nexus the Unyielding, who is a human with tusk-like protrusions coming out of his mouth from his upper incisors. He has gray hair and looks at the group interestedly. Leo Daysnatcher is a blonde halfling with very fine sideburns. He looks at the group with an inquisitive look. Deirdris, a black dragon who needs no introduction. She is played by Rogue Kitten, who you'll see in the chat above. Yeora, Glorin, and Nexus will all be played by Tim, who is the other person on camera. Second row, we have Rift, who you know. Pirin, who the party recognizes immediately as the changeling who they met when they first came over the wall. His wild hair looks a little bit more tame, but it is still bleach blonde, and still crazed and unkempt. He wears a simple bathrobe. The seat that would hold Bryn, the leader of the Eternal Clan, is empty. Bryn is missing from the council, presumably the one that Rift mentioned to Zippo. Misk is a cloaked figure who appears to be humanoid in shape. They wear a mask over their face, and the hood obscures their features. You do not know what type of creature they are. Frit Ragna is a burly bugbear with long pointed ears and a kempt hairdo. It seems to be trimmed neatly. And he wears a simple pauldron that looks like it's from the shell of a spiked turtle. Ril Dala, the last member that I'll mention, appears to have the head of a whale and the body of a man. He is a merfolk and the leader of the merfolk, and he's played by none other than Aronican, who Shade should recognize.
Hello?
Just as a heads up, when the party first walks in, Zippo immediately recognizing Piran, and Rift will immediately wave at Piran as he's walking towards Rift. He'll be like waving at Piran and go, "Hi Piran, how you doing? Hi." And we just keep walking over to Rift very excitedly.
Piran chuckles and says, "Hello, lad!" And the rest of the group, who weren't looking at the party as they came in, now has turned to face the party.
DM Josh,
Yes.
quick question for you. Big empty seat in the middle.
So the big empty seat in the middle looks like it might have once been a throne, but instead has been turned into a pedestal for somebody to stand on and speak to the group. There's a kind of like a platform where you might put like a speech if you'd like to, and the steps up to it kind of lead to a standing area where you could like approach and speak to the group.
Lovely. Ulrich will, through the ring, reach out to Rift and just ask, is there anywhere we should go in particular? We approach the bench.
As he's asked that, Zippo's probably already made it up to Rift, and is just kind of sitting there at his feet, just waiting.
If you are, when you are invited to speak, you may stand in the center point, but until then you can either stand with me or in the other half of the semicircle would be fine.
Yep, Ulrich will walk to Rift. And so I think, he conveys that to everyone else in the rings as well.
And it would probably help if I, gave you all control of your...
It's always handy.
Zippo's also has his notebook out, and he's like pointing out to Rift the different like horribly drawn demons he's tried to draw. So he's like, this one was one we fought, and when he gets to the one that used to be his old master that he now realizes, like, this one's stupid and I hate it, it's dumb.
So as Zippo's talking, Rift says, "Young one, little one, now's not the time."
So puts his book away and just kind of sits there. So, like, they're not like...
Was that out? That was all out loud, right? You were telling him out loud, correct?
Yeah, Zippo was
Yeah.
just going.
Yeah. He's like, he just kind of like gently quiets you. Yeah. Alright, so everybody should have control of their figures now. So just to reinforce the different things, I think everybody can kind of make out who's who based on how I describe them, right? Piran's the one here on the right hand side. Halfling has the wings. Bugbear's the bottom one, Tusk is up here, and this is Nesset here.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Zippo's going to kind of like ask Griff, like, it's okay if I get in my bag for a second since we're waiting? Since he told me he couldn't talk about this stuff. He's gonna like slowly start opening his bag, waiting to see if Griff stops him, and if not, he's gonna open it, go in, and just start petting on Thorfield.
Rift would suggest to not attempt to use any magic in the chamber.
Great many things can be magic, Zippo.
Zippo's very bored now. He's just kind of sitting there, just looking around, like very bored.
So you can kind of see that the council members seem to be, acting slightly impatient. It seems they've been waiting for a while, and as Riff said, they've been waiting to start till Bryn arrived at the council. Bryn is still not here, and Rift mentions to Ulrich in the ring, Zimpo mentioned that there was a demon incursion in the Eternal Lands. Do you have any information that might tell us where Bryn could be or what could be happening?
I can only tell you what we saw. Do you want us to address the council?
Good question. Well, they're a little perturbed at the moment. We might want to tread lightly here. And he,
I can tell you.
Go ahead.
I can tell you in private first.
Go on.
We investigated the bright light and the direction of the earthquakes that you directed us to, and we saw sort of great tear in space open and demons pour out of it. And a great demon said that... We searched through my notes for the exact quote. But something to the effect of that this land was weak and ripe for the taking. And we found near there a camp of sorts that had been destroyed with some suits of armor that had been split in half almost. They kind of matched the description of the Eternals that we'd been told about while in your lands.
He visibly turns to look at you when you mention the broken armor. And he says that loud instead of through the ring, forgetting himself for a moment. Were they bearing any markings?
How does the rest of the council react to him saying that?
Everyone within earshot of you, so the three aside from Purin kind of all turn to look at the group and Rift. Purin just seems to be his feet slightly hang from his seat, and he's kind of they're dangling, and he's kind of just humming to himself, seemingly oblivious to the to the conversation.
I don't remember any, and I'll respond in the ring, maybe unhelpfully to the rest of the council members. I don't remember any distinctive markings, no. I mean, the armor was ornate, certainly, but no conspicuous symbols that I remember.
Okay.
There were 3 of them.
Tim, I'm trying to give you your character ability, but I'm having trouble figuring that out. I think you can add your own character yourself. You should be able to. Okay. Well, if... And he returns back to his ring. Well, if you saw Eternals who have been slain, but none of them bared markings, then Bryn was not among them. But that is disconcerting.
Through the ring, Zippo will also say that we also met some of the Pathfinder clan, and we found some of them in like a similar, like not as big of a area as the original demon portal, but similar, like way that the land was messed up, in that it was like all dead, and we found some of the Pathfinder clan people there, and they were like completely gone pretty much. We've also fought a couple of the demons, some like fly ones.
The halflings seem at least somewhat aware of what's going on. We encountered a group marching south to fight somebody on our way here.
Bryn kind of steps over the party and makes his way over to address the group.
Rift, you mean?
Yeah, did I say Bryn? I meant Rift.
Yes.
All these 4-letter names, right? Members of the council, I have received information from members of my clan who I have mentioned wish to speak with us today. They have brought report of a demon incursion centered in the Eternal Clan lands. This might be the delay that we feared. Bryn would not, being this close to the council, have missed his timeline. We know that he is of the timeliness of us, usually here first. So that he is not here means that he must be occupied by these demons. Rill, would you by chance be able to send a message to the Eternal Clan to see if they can report in on any of the whereabouts of Bryn?
Certainly. It's very strange that my friend is not here, and this is concerning news. I will send a messenger post haste.
Alright, so Rill would be basically sending the spell message to probably a mutual speaker, or basically an Eternal member and a Merfolk member were basically speakers for the clans, and they'd basically be the person that each clan would be messaging when they were trying to get a hold of the leader of the clan. Obviously, they wouldn't be calling directly to a leader of the clan. They're much too busy for that, so the speaker would basically take messages for them and then relay messages. So you could do so that way.
Real does.
Okay. Rill immediately gets back from the speaker. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but Bryn is gone. His group was attacked on the road by demons. He will not make it.
All the color goes out of Rill's face. He's visibly distressed and glassy-eyed. I received word from the Eternal's messenger. Bryn has been attacked. And may not make it.
So the party, as the party watches, you see that many members of the group are startled by this. Rift kind of pales, if you can imagine a bronze dragon doing so. Piran stops waving his legs and kind of sets his face grimly. The halfling no longer is fluttering. He is now sitting on his seat. I'll let the other members describe their reactions. You're coming in a little faint, just as a heads up.
Better?
That's better, yes. Okay. We're making progress.
And from Dear, she goes from looking very annoyed at the general situation to kind of having a glint of concern in her eye, and she very much starts kind of eyeballing the other council members to look for reactions from any of them.
Rill is collapsing into the seat, looking very small and reduced. Which is saying something for as big as they are.
Yeah. Nesset speaks up and says, "Well, it seems we will need to find Well, we have gathered for this meeting, and we are all but one here. I motion that we start the meeting, given the urgency of the times now that we know this threat is in place. All the more reason for us to begin. We shall allow the Eternal Clan to find Bryn or return a leadership to their number. But until then, we will go with 11. I apologize, Rill. I know that you wish not to start without Bryn. But with this news, we must. Shade, I'm trying to give, okay, you got it? Okay, you're good. Alright. Perfect. No problem. I just want to make sure you're good. Alright. So with that, the council meeting starts. Nesset kind of speaks up again and says, "First, I would like to welcome back Piran to our number. He has been reappointed the leader of the Changeling Clan." And you see Piran smile with no smile meeting his eyes. It's a cool smile. He doesn't choose to speak more than that at this point. He just smiles in acknowledgement of this congratulations. And Nesset kind of turns to Rift and says, "You mentioned that you had members of your clan that wished to speak and address the council. They seem to have also brought information for the council, who they reported to you. So, before we get to new business, let's allow small business to take priority. Maybe it will give us a cushion before we begin in earnest, so that they may say their piece and go." Rift kind of turns to the group and kind of nudges them on.
Ulrich will approach the center with the others if they join. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll be joining.
Yeah. Thank you all for allowing us this moment to speak with you, and I apologize for the news that we have received today. We travel from beyond the wall. We hail from the lands to the west, and we come here as ambassadors of goodwill. We have joined the Bronze Clan, who have taken us in graciously. The wall fell, and it has changed the world for us all. We cannot allow our three nations to fall into war. Like this council, the world must come together in peace, whether that peace is simply maintaining borders or uniting under one goal, perhaps to fight these demons. We cannot fall to chaos and destruction.
"What is it that you suggest?" says the bugbear.
Well, sir, my suggestion is simply, we know where the walls wall was, we need not bring force beyond those borders. You know the land to the south, sir?
Are you speaking the Frit, the bugbear?
Yeah.
Necrata?
Yes. What do you know of Necrata, if I could ask?
Land of the vampires and the elves.
And do you see any need to conquer the vampires and the elves?
I just see land that could also be ours.
And why do you need that land? Do you know?
Roger is going to interrupt Ulrich here.
Yeah.
Um,
Go for it.
That's not the point. We're here to broker peace. Why are you picking a fight with the leaders of the clan?
I'm not. I am broker in peace here. I am saying that our goal.
Demons have invaded Relic.
Exactly.
They might be invading Seregen and Necrata too. We have a common enemy. We can sort everything out after we've driven these demons out.
And who are you to Seregen? Says Nesset.
We serve the steward of the kingdom. Marius.
Goes, not me, I'm just here for fun. I don't like Marius.
And Zippo's here too.
Belzian is trying to keep up by explaining with large sweeping gestures of the arms and legs and facial expressions, like some kind of like ASL interpreter.
I think we got off on the wrong foot. We, the six of us, represent most of the peoples of Seregen. The humans, the elves, and the kobolds.
The six?
And the halfling.
You mean the five?
The five of us, yeah. We represent the peoples of Seregen, servants of the stewards of the kingdom. We were told to go with peace. We've traveled to Relic and to Necrata and have seen very little peace. And certainly that's not the fault of any individual here, but the circumstances of the world. And I see this demon invasion as an opportunity for us all to come together. Certainly it threatens you as much as it threatens us.
Tim, just raise your mic slightly. There.
Better?
Much better, much better.
Alright. You say that you come for peace. You say you represent us, but from my reports, you killed my landlord, who was a dear companion of mine. How does that bring peace?
Yes,
That
I
was
killed.
self-defense. They attacked us first when we first were wandering because they thought we were spies for elves, which, I mean, I get how they could, and he points at the half-elf and the elf, but he's like, we're not, we weren't.
they just attacked us, and if somebody runs at you with the weapon, you're gonna kill them.
The adults are talking.
I am
Yes,
just as
you-
much of a grown-up here as everybody.
I'm sorry, one moment. I was the man who killed Orban. I bear his axe. I will give it back to you gladly. Orban held us prisoner. We were traveling, and he abducted us. Did he have the right to do that? Perhaps it was his lands. We did not know where we were. But if you, sir, were imprisoned in my lands, how would you react?
Make a fair point.
So angrily to himself, this is just what I said!
Yes, I know that.
But why would you hand back the spoils of your battle? You earned it. And while I mean to earn it back myself, to just hand it over, and he spits on the ground in disgust.
I do not know your customs. I am trying to be polite as a guest here. If it is your custom not to take peace offerings, then later, after this council is ended, if you so wish to have the axe, you and I may fight. But what I and my colleagues come here to say is that just as this council has found peace amongst one another, has drawn the divisions of their lands, so too must the rest of the world. And we must unite against the demons, not each other.
We will see. What can be most dangerous in a fight is when you have an ally next to you that all they do is hold you back. Me and my friends, my fellow brothers in arms, might seek to test that strength of yours and see if you are worthy to ally.
Deirdre's
Ask Orban's guys. Oh wait, you can't.
All right. I see the black dragon clears her throat.
You all seem to know an awful lot about all of us for people that don't even belong here.
Good information gathering.
Roger will simply hold up his hand with the bronze tattoos.
Yarvik is going to chime in. The problem that we face is bigger than any one area of Relic or Relic itself. It is a threat intrinsic to all of Seregen. Every entity, every living being drawing breath and scent of Seregen is threatened by this. So I, as well as you, as everyone else here, all have to face this threat together, and we should all have a voice.
Deirdre is going to look up and down at the tattoos and kind of, like, visibly snort and roll her eyes.
Zippo's still kind of angry at the barbarian guy. He's like, we can also prove it because 6 of us took out more than 12 of your guys. I figured that's enough evidence that we're combat equipped. He's very mad about being called a child, even though he is. We also took out more than 2 demons on the way here. Have any of you fought the demons yet? Didn't think so.
And what happens when there's more than 2?
We kill them faster.
Only we are united to face that.
Trust me, that big demon is huge. He is like 17 times the size of either you, and he's looking at the black dragon, or Rift over there.
Why don't you tell them about the demon? The demon that, by the way, I told you all about long ago. Go on,
Piran.
tell them about him.
Right, who was this?
This is
That's
Piran.
Piran.
Yep.
That's Piran,
Oh,
yeah.
Piran. Okay, thank
Zippo
you.
goes, yeah, exactly. See, Piran understands. And then Zippo pulled out his book with the very awful, crude drawing of all the demons that he's seen. And he's like, this one, this one, and then when he gets to the one that he killed, he goes, this one's easy, easiest by, kill it, easy. And then when he gets to the one he doesn't like, that was his ex-master, because this one's liar, stupid, dumb. And then he gets to like the big boss, which is the final one, and he's like, this is the big guy. That dude's huge.
So Yarvik is going to chime in over the rings to everybody. Guys, this is not the way. Roger, you're having the best effect. I would appreciate it if you would take the lead and communicate. The rest of us kind of need to step back for at least a couple of minutes and let Roger plead our case.
To clarify something over the rings, obviously. I'm just saying the same thing, Roger, is we need to unite. That's all.
I get it, but what I'm saying for the purpose of this meeting is Roger is being better. He's being more well received. You see what I'm saying? Even though you guys are saying the same thing, they're taking Roger's version of the message, I think, a little bit better.
It's the pointy ears.
Right, but I wanna stress here that Roger, figuring out the problem of our nations potentially fighting after we take down the demons is not a solution. We need a pact now. That this is a unification or an alliance that will last beyond the demons. Simply,
we have to convince them that it's even that big of a problem first.
Right. We're not gonna get them to do that in the next 5 minutes. So let's kind of slow our roll a little bit and take a little bit more of a delicate tact. Some people on this council are obviously going to respond more to an aggressive stance. I get that. But we have to get them to hear us first.
So I'm needing to be loud. That's what it says at the ring.
While the group is kind of discussing of the rings and collecting their thoughts, it looks like Rill has stood to speak. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on between this group of newcomers, but they seem to have spent quite a while in silence, sharing, exchanging looks with each other. Are you going to continue presenting your case to us, or can we move on to other business?
Apologies. We would like to continue presenting our case. Deirdre's, clan leader of the Black Dragons. You asked how we would handle more than just a few demons. And I'll say, as we 5, we can't. And on our way here, we encountered a small camp in the Eternal clan where several Eternals couldn't. And we passed through the Halfling land, where a small handful of Halflings could not. No one of us, by ourselves, can stop this. It's everyone together. Maybe we have a chance. With your strength, and the strength of the Axe clan, and the Rock clan, and the Halfling clan, and the Cloak, and the Bugbears, and the Merfolk, and the Druids, and the Eternals, and the Changelings, and the Bronze. And with the strength of the people of Seregen, and the Elves, and maybe even the vampires of Necrata. Everyone combined, we can present real unified front and stop this problem.
You speak to me as though you think I have never seen something like this happen before.
I think you might be old enough to have seen it happen at least once before. 3,000 years ago, maybe something similar happened. We spoke with, in Necrata, an elf who was there when the walls were put up. These groups have united before. They can again.
And may I ask, if this is something you have seen before, would you be kind enough to guide us, lead us out of this danger, Deirdre? If you have that knowledge.
And risk everything again. You don't understand what happens when something wants the entire world. This council is small compared to what happened last time. The lands that are left, there was a lot more.
And if nothing is done, is that not also a risk to this world?
It perhaps is. But I'm not sure I'm willing to lay down everything. Not after last time.
If pain and ruin are coming for us regardless, shouldn't we stand and fight as a people? And I mean a people of Seregen. That's to the whole council.
And Relic. And Necrata.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The world. The whole continent.
There's reason in your words. However, you're asking peoples who've not had interaction with each other for thousands of years to trust each other on a bloody field of battle against creatures of death and chaos and waste. Joining together in a massive battle, does that not give them what they want? Death and chaos?
Is there another way to stop them?
Did not they stop them 3,000 years ago, Deirdre?
It wasn't demons per se. But
It was the giants before, as a reminder, says Nesset. Nesset kind of turns and eyes up Glorin, kind of bitterly at the look that he has as he says that.
That's like thinking, like, just thinking to himself, but he's like, didn't we see a giant? Thinking about the dude that was sitting in front of all that gold.
But he was very much, yeah. Think to yourself.
Zuko's thinking to himself right now. He's like, very, like, he's just sitting back there now. He has no friendly words for most of the people here, except Kieran. He likes Kieran.
I mean, Rill, if we would certainly suggest not fighting, if that can be done, but I don't know how one would reason with a demon.
Indeed.
And I don't have myself the magic to oppose them, nor the knowledge of even where to start. If this was a problem that I could solve with just what I know, and we could solve with just what we know, the five of us here, we wouldn't be petitioning the council at all. I mean, we ask for your help, not just pledging the not just pledging what army you can muster, and non-aggression between our peoples, but also your knowledge. The short-lived peoples of Seregen don't have records that go back that far. Almost all of that has been lost.
I think that's right. I think it's never too late to start a good thing. 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000 years might be a long time for some of us, and maybe not as long for others. But I think the best time to plant a tree is yesterday.
But the truth is, allies don't have to be friends. They don't even have to like each other. They just have to have a common goal. And in this, I think we all have a common goal.
See Aura kind of forward. I'd like to test. I would like to test it. See how you and then, next, they didn't even just European, they don't put all the plans. Yeah. I would particularize the all about it.
What test would you have of us?
Well, for those of Lord of the Axe, they are rock. We are more. We all kind of gear ourselves to a certain attribute.
Tim, could you move your mic up again? Thank you. It's fine. And I would encourage anybody who's having trouble hearing him to just turn up your mic a little bit. I've turned him up as much as I can on my side, though.
So why not test each other in strength? It's strength against strength. Dexterity against dexterity. There's a hardiness in the situation. That's what I want. Make it a grand affair. All the sharing certain parts. This will be a way for us not to but also see how well you work in coordination. Each having their part to play. If we were to have an alliance of sorts, we would also generate that.
Down for a test as long as I can use my magic.
I think this might be a non-magical affair, Zippo.
And Tim, just raise your mic a little bit more toward your mouth, or if you need to, yeah, that would be fine right there. Like, even if we hear your breath a little bit, it's better to hear you than to not. I'm sorry.
Snow looks to the guy issuing the challenge. He's like, "Would magic be allowed? Because I could do stuff then."
Well, that's the beauty of it all. We each have a different part to play. If you want to use magic, then you can go toe-to-toe with me and see how long you can concentrate on a spell while taking damage from another. That should be quite fun.
Alright, I'm picking. If I pick my teammates, I'm getting Ulrich on my side.
So it seems the challenge that is being set to be in DM mode for a second is that Glorin, Yaora, and Nexus are challenging 3 of the party members in a battle. So the idea is that Glorin is going to be the main combatant against a member of the party. The goal is not to kill the other member, but to bring them down to 0 HP, to bring them unconscious. So hand-to-hand battle unless weapons are chosen, and then it could be weapon to weapon. One of the members on the other side, Yaora, will be shooting at the caster who's basically aiding whoever's the combatant. So basically it's kind of like each team has a team of 3 who has different roles. One person's fighting, one person is altering the fight in some way using a concentration spell, and then the other person is trying to make the concentration spell not be effective. So like whoever would be shooting on your side would be trying to disrupt Nexus's spell from altering the combat. So there's basically 3 tests here. If you're successful with 2 of the 3, you're still successful, and they all kind of play into each other for the ultimate goal of bringing Glorin down.
So the casters would only be able to use concentration spells, they don't be able to cast other spells?
Will only be able to use 1 concentration spell for the duration of the battle, so you'd choose that wisely, and then somebody would be attacking you, and you'd basically have to withstand those concentration checks to assist in altering the battle. You can use that spell as a concentration spell against the opponent, or to aid your own person, depending on what it is. And it doesn't necessarily need to be Zippo that does the concentration spell. You guys can decide what that would be, but that would be the game there.
Gotcha. I was thinking more of like a spell fight, like a 3v3, just all out brawl type deal.
Yeah.
Is polymorph concentration?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So that could be
T-Rex.
that could be the altering, right? Like you could alter the combatant against Glorin to have that, and then you'd have somebody peppering you with arrows trying to disrupt your spell and cause the concentration spell to end. Meanwhile, your archer would be doing the same thing to try and get Nexus to not be able to cast his spell anymore.
I think Yarvik should be our 3rd.
Yarvik is going to do this under protest, but he thinks it is absolutely asinine and ridiculous that we're having a contest of wills in the middle of a conference to decide the fate of our land. But he'll do it.
Yarvik, would you say that this is barbaric? Because these are the barbarians of Relic.
But they seem erudite. They seem like reasonable people, but we devolved into this ridiculous contest of wills. Yarvik is just done with this at this point. But he's
Hey, we're just learning about the cultures of this land. Respect their customs.
Yeah, respect their
So-
customs and get out there and shoot that clan leader.
No. I'm shooting the caster.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
caster.
Yarvik is shooting
Which
the
is
caster.
another clan leader, right? Yes.
That's true, yeah.
So another detail that they've said is that they're going to be providing the bows that both shooters will be shooting.
Okay.
So, just as a heads up.
Yarvik makes a note. Yarvik is going to make a note to Deegan and the arrows. Sorry, boys, you're going to have to set this one out. Wait, can I use the arrows?
No, they provide the ammunition too. Yeah.
Okay.
Good question.
Clarification.
Yes.
The spell, the concentration spell, must it be targeted? No, you said that it could be targeted at the
Anywhere.
opponent as well. Glorin.
Right.
So Ulrich's going to put forward in the rings that he thinks this may be a bad idea, but
All good senses start with that, though.
sorry, actually, quick clarification.
Mm-hmm.
Is the combat the combat must end with 0 HP, correct?
That's the plan.
There's no other end conditions.
A yield would do too.
Okay. Yeah. No, that Ulrich's not going to put forward this idea. Just for the group, I was going to suggest that we could polymorph the opponent into a mouse and simply lock the mouse up. But that doesn't produce a yield or 0 HP, so disregard.
It would probably also not be kind of quantifying the test of strength that they're looking for, right? It is clever.
It does not, yeah.
See, that's what I was thinking when we were talking about 3v3. I thought it was going to be like just a full-on 3v3, you know? So it'd be like, oh, we have one dude back here shooting at him, and then Ulrich running in and fighting, and then I can just, polymorph him or something, and then cast other spells at people. And I'd be bopping, but that's not sad. But I'm down to polymorph. I have polymorph and haste. That's my two concentration spells.
Yeah, I think polymorphing Ulrich is best because if Goran drops him to 0 while he's polymorphed, he just goes back to being whatever HP he's at now.
That's another quick question, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Does the combatant what actions can the combatant take?
Basically, the combatant, all bets are off. They can do whatever they want in terms of the test of strength. They'll have but so what do you mean by that?
Yeah,
I see.
Specifically, is it just the attack action? Because frankly, I think that polymorph's great and all, but I do think that haste may be a better option here, and I actually think that while I would love to go toe-to-toe with Goran and shove the axe through his skull, I do think that there's a case to be made for Bane to go in for this, for Belzian, rather, to go in for this.
You want me to slap this guy?
Because you have things like Stunning Strike.
Mm-hmm.
You hasted plus Stunning Strike.
Stunning Strike will work with things with relatively low constitution.
That's true, this guy has a high con, but...
You're going to get to fight barehanded, though.
But I'm not a bear unless you polymorph me.
You can fight half elf-handed. But that doesn't sound as good. So we're going to say barehanded anyway.
In any case...
You got the smites on your side, though, don't you?
I definitely have the strength, yeah.
The smites, the big...
Oh, yeah, I've got smites, yeah. So,
if
you're...
Glorin, well, I guess out of character, Tim, for the challenge, did Glorin envision with abilities or without? When he said the challenge.
I would say no outright spells.
Okay.
I think a barbarian, that's what he is, versus a paladin, it would be unfair and not in the spirit of a challenge. The barbarian can rage, and the paladin can't smite.
There you go.
Okay. Alright, in which case...
And same goes for the monk abilities, too. The same way, so... Whichever you choose.
Yes to abilities or no to abilities?
Yes to abilities. No to spells.
Alright. Ulrich will step up to that because he has this semi-connection to Glorin. And...
It saves you having to beat him up later, like you said.
That is true.
So do you want polymorph or haste, Ulrich?
I would prefer haste, because I would like to show him what his captain's axe can do.
Yeah, go give him his axe back the hard way. I'll say that out loud.
And then the third would be Yarvik shooting.
Correct. And my target is only the caster, correct? My job is to distract the caster in any way that I can.
Correct. Tim, I'll let you state who your three picks are for what role.
Obvious. Eora sets up. Of course, Nexus has to be a big deal. I will be the archer. And something interesting. We shall ride rock and must stay outside. 200 feet from the targets. We'll shoot from a distance to start to skill back.
I wouldn't call that interesting. I'd call that you cheating it to your side because you're used to riding rocks all the time. Yarvik's never ridden one
Not
before
too
in his
much,
life.
right, Rob. We give him one very manageable.
Yeah, one manageable for you, so you can convince it to make him miss. Sounds like you're just trying to sway it in your favor, lady.
That is a stain upon my honor. I do not appreciate it.
Don't offer bad ideas, I don't know what to do.
We're all having fun here. There.
Zippo's just mad still at the barbarian guy, and they're on his team, so
Yeah, no,
he's mad
absolutely.
he can't cast spells at the barbarian guy.
Would it be fair if Yarvik rode me? Says Rift.
I see.
Robert looks at Rift. Yeah, I think I'll take that. Inner monologue, Robert is, oh hell yes, he's been wanting to ride a dragon this whole time.
Very jealous Zippo kind of goes,
So Rift will basically just fly in a circle, just like what Yaora's mount would be doing. He won't be adding to the battle at all. He'll just be there as an assistance in moving you around. Okay, so for distance shooting, just as a reminder, I'm trying to recall. So we're using what type of bow? Short bow? Long bow? Which one is it?
I would say longbow.
Long bow?
Oh. I would say if the halfling wants to use a short bow, half.
Okay. And then the range is 200 feet. Is there any alterations to the shots because of that distance?
It's essentially outside of standard range, so you're without you'd be typically at disadvantage.
Okay. So if you get an advantage to a shot, then that cancels it out, and it would be a normal roll for you, Yarvik.
And how do we roll disadvantage again?
So disadvantage would be 2 rolls, and you take the lowest.
Got
Just like with advantage, it's you roll twice and take the highest.
it. Got it.
Okay, so the challenge is set. Do you accept, members of Seregen?
We accept, so long as we use weapons.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
I thought you might.
Though I respect your strength, fight against it. I do come to recognize your strength. At least now we'll have a metaphor react. If I win, I vote.
All right. With the challenge set and the group in accordance, some of the members kind of roll their eyes like, we're doing this, kind of in a similar fashion to how Yarvik just mentioned. What is happening right now, right? So, go ahead. Sorry.
A quick thing, just a reminder, I don't know, Yarvik, if you have perhaps sharpshooter.
I do, which is a -5 penalty to attack and add 10 to damage.
But I
Also
think
have
it
a,
I believe it also negates the range penalty.
correct.
yeah, I'm looking range. Yep, no disadvantage on range.
Perfect.
Just a fun little thing I wanted to make known.
All right. So I am going to make sure all the characters for... I guess the characters don't matter aside from... Okay, so I'll describe the chamber for a moment. So the members of the council leave their seats, and the seats kind of vanish from sight. The pillar in the middle, the chair in the middle, sinks into the floor and flattens out, so you can see a tile floor. You can see I put a tile over the central area itself, but obviously the seats are going to stay. The council members move out of the way, so I'll move them now. And the entire floor lifts up, and the ceiling opens up, and you're now in an open arena at the top of the tower. So basically the council members are in viewing platforms, aside from Rift, who is on the area and whatnot, and then the group that is fighting. So I will remove Bane and Roger from the floor, who also go to viewing chambers, viewing areas, and
Cheerleaders.
yeah, and then we have the three. So I'm going to make everything smaller for the moment. Basically, consider each square as a 5-foot square now, instead of every 10 feet being 5 feet like we had for the map. So let me resize everybody. I know that makes you all look like little ants, but there we go. I'm gonna move Rift out of the way too, because basically it's a static idea of it, just to show that Yarvik is in flight, to have that disadvantage penalty, or in theory he would, since he's got sharpshooter that no longer is in effect. Zippo, since you are casting, you're able to move around as long as you're maintaining that concentration. But ultimately, since it's an open arena and they're shooting at a distance, it's going to be about the same to hit you no matter where you are. So you don't necessarily need to move around too much. We'll go kind of in rounds, them versus us, instead of like one person at a time to speed up combat, because it really is just against Glorin and Ulrich with the modifiers. Okay. Even if Glorin wins, if you manage to get 2 out of 3 with the other 2, then you'll still win the combat, and vice versa. Ulrich could win and still lose, because it's three different challenges back to back.
Yep.
So just putting that all out there. All right. So I'll put you two on either side of the arena. You're about 30 feet apart. I'd like you both to roll initiative, and we'll start combat from there.
Is the token associated with the character?
It should be associated with you now. Yes. And let me know if you activate any special things, because I have something prepared for that.
Oh, overbearing.
Okay, Ulrich is going first.
Okay.
Any comments from any members of the other council members before combat starts, or anything like that, or are we good to go?
Yarvik, while thoroughly enjoying the ride with Rift, asks him over the ring, "Are they always like this?"
In short, yes.
They just have a little chuckle about it.
Deirdre will just say, "Let's make this quick and stop wasting my time."
Alright. Ulrich, going first, will... I guess, since it's side initiative here, he'll wait to be hasted before he moves.
So since you three go as a group,
yeah.
you'll basically activate the spell first.
Right.
So Zippo, you're activating haste, correct?
Yep.
Okay. I guess, Yarvik, you're waiting to have the other spell go up before you can shoot. Or you don't know if the spell's up or not, so you can feel free to shoot him if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, if my initiative is up, I'm just gonna start pelting the caster. So
Okay. So basically, do you have a short bow in your inventory already?
I do, but it is a short bow plus 2. So we're gonna need to take 2 off of the attack. It's attack and damage, right? I have it equipped right now.
So this would be a normal short bow without any bonuses. It would be just your normal
So whatever,
modifier.
whatever we do, we would just take -2 off of whatever I roll. Is that correct?
Yes. I can also, while you're doing this first shot, I'll get a short bow in your inventory for you, since they gave you one.
Okay, so first hit is 18.
Does that hit?
Yeah, that.
Okay. Roll damage.
12 piercing.
All right.
And then, so he gets a second attack. Okay.
Same thing.
Very consistent. Wow.
Gotta love that.
So I had a question. So she's gonna have disadvantage at shooting me, right? Like that's why they're going up so high.
Unless she has sharpshooter too.
I was just trying to ask because there's like only one thing I could think to do. But I was gonna lay down so that she has disadvantage if she didn't already have it.
Right.
Okay, I've added a short bow to your inventory, so you should see that as the white short bow. Yarvik.
Yep, looking now.
Okay. With all that, the casting and the arrows going off, Ulrich is rushing in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He is hasted, so he'll get 3 total attacks with the great axe. I'll just roll them and then we can. Nothing's lower than 22.
They all hit.
Okay. Each of them, of course, will be smited. And I'm just double checking. So we'll do 3 damage, first level, plus 1d8. Don't imagine this guy's an undead or fiends. We don't need to worry about that. But we will burn 2 third-level spell slots and 1 second-level damage. So I'll roll that. Let's see, 3d12 plus 18 plus. Let's see. That's the slashing damage, and then the radiant damage would be a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3 plus 4 plus another, so 8d8. So 75 damage
Oh, damn.
All said and done.
So from all 3 of your smites, plus the damage from your axe.
Yep, that's correct. Oh, actually, yeah. No,
So
that's right.
30 plus 45, 75, yep.
Yep, that's right.
And on the first attack, he'll use a what is it? Giant stone words. Yeah, D12 plus con modifier to reduce damage.
Okay.
So 14. 6 plus what? 6 plus 6, so 12 plus his smite, so it's differentiates between each check.
It doesn't.
So yeah, so just 75 minus 14.
61.
71, 61, yeah. Oh. There it goes. Yeah, I tried to. It didn't work.
Not that issue. No problem. Ugh. That was a good hit. So it's the barbarian's turns.
Yes.
All right. So since theirs doesn't really matter too much the order of things. First you see Lauren start to grow. So at first he's like starts yelling out a loud yell as his jet black beard turns stark white with electricity glistening in his eyes as it starts to radiate down through his axe and it resonates in the axe head. Let me give back what you've given me. First he is going to attempt to. Oh no, we can't do that spell actually. So you know, might be a terrible idea with a paladin, but he of course will reckless attack.
Does that affect your HP at all?
Let me double check. I don't think it does.
Alright.
I think I mean, now just his regular attack things will be half damage.
Alright, I'm just modifying your hit bar for your upgraded token. That's all.
Okay. Alright. And with his first attack, he'll swing his axe. Does an 18 hit?
It just does, yeah.
That was a +2 for haste.
Yeah.
Alright. For a total of 23 damage.
Okay.
And he'll take a second attack. Oh, nice!
Actually,
Well, wait.
let me.
It'd be disadvantage, though, right?
Reckless attack.
Oh, that gives you advantage? I
Yeah.
thought... Okay.
And I forgot to bring up the map so that everybody can see.
Regular slash, I think should have additional.
Yes, you have disadvantage as well.
Rolling one. Oh, is the axe messed up? Oh, the axe is messed up. Okay. Instead of. Oh, okay. Here. So it had a 1 instead of a 1d12, so we're gonna roll the first damage and the second damage. 12. There we go. So 10 additional damage on the first one. There's a static 1 instead of which would have been 11. And then on the second one, it's a 1. Root 1 from the next thing, it's 1d12 plus I think another d12 from Barbecue Crew at 9th level. So, roll 12. So that's an additional 5 damage on the second attack, which is a total of 18. Math is hard. 18 plus 12 would be 30.
30.
Oh.
And then for I can hit 2. Then on to Nexus. It's like, well, since I don't have anything to have him hit more, maybe I'll just help negate some of the wounds he takes. And Nexus starts with Aura of Vitality. I think that's just 3d6 healing. Total 6 health per game. And Yaora will make her shots. I don't need to. I know the Alright, 29 to hit. Zippo.
You have disadvantage? Or can you have disadvantage is the question?
Oh. No, she does not have disadvantage.
I'm laying down, that's what I was asking. Yeah, that is. Yeah, I'm laying down, so I'm prone, so if I have disadvantage, you can make the ranged attacks at me.
But if you have sharpshooter, it still would.
You would still fly?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. Let's roll again.
Oh no! If you have sharpshooter, then you're good. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
No, actually, sharpshooter only affects attacking at long range.
Oh, does it? I apologize.
And cover, I
It's
think.
disadvantage.
Yeah.
It allows you to ignore the cover of your target.
That's what it
Half
was.
and
The
two-thirds.
prone is a different thing.
Prone, prone is different than half and 2/3 cover.
It's not having anything in front of you.
Smart move.
Does a 27 hit?
Yes, it is. You're gonna have to roll 4 or lower to actually miss me.
Oh.
Unless I can shield, but I don't think.
No.
So some fun DM fiat here. I went to for the ranged combat portion between Yaora and Yarvik, I was putting an initial for each and then tallying the hits that they made on the other person to tally who is winning the challenge. But they're both. I just realized that they both have a Y name, so that's great. YA.
You could just use Jaeger instead.
Yeah. Yay and Yar.
And that's 8 damage to Zippo.
That's the
Roll
conversation.
that con save.
Alright. I think
Alright.
Nexus will stay standing because, you know, he'll just laugh at Zippo laying down like,
I was like, look, I can't cast spells on you. You'd be dead.
So Zippo, you're going prone, so it's harder for you to be hit.
Yep.
I like it. All right. All right. So Zippo, you made the con save.
Yep.
Okay. Yaora hit how many times?
Once.
Once. Okay.
oh, she has an attack. That's right. So 19 plus 10 would be 19.
Yep. Fantastic hit.
Perfect.
Nice. Just to double check one thing, Channel Divinity would be outside the spirit of this, correct?
Yeah, it's like they're basically
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Alright, Ulrich will make his 3 attacks. That's a crit.
Oh, great. Rolling with advantage.
Yes, I didn't for the first one just because it was a crit, so no sense. So 21 was the lowest.
Oh yeah, they all hit.
Okay. Once
You're
again,
essentially fighting an unarmored barbarian.
yeah. Let's see here. So
And you got a crit.
1, 2. Yep. The first one will use a second level spell slot for its smites. Third one, or the first and second one will use 2 second level slots, and the third one will use a first level slot. We do roll twice, right, Josh, for your
Yes.
crits? Okay. Ah, so close to getting a 12 there. Alright, so roll 1d12. Okay. So for the first damage, it's 13 slashing, but for the radiant damage, it is... So it'd be 48 for that. 17 radiant. For the second damage... It would be 18... And then the radiance would be another 2d8. $15 more radiant damage, and then finally the last hit would be 12 plus an additional 2d8. No, 1d8 on that one, sorry. Just 2 radiant damage. So grand total of 13, 30, 48, 50, 65, 77 total damage.
Solid.
And
That's what happens when you want a paladin. Lauren falls to a knee. Oh wait, I'm having things. Darn, I totally forgot about
okay, so you wouldn't have the radiance.
it. Right.
But would you only have started having once you did this turn, correct?
This turn is I'm only having
Okay.
more axe damage. Yeah.
So then, so you're having, let me do the math, 13 plus 18 is 31, plus an additional 12 to bring us up to 43, so you're having 42, so 21 slashing halved.
Radiant.
Total radiant was, apologies, 17 plus 15 is 32,
34.
plus 34, thank you, John, Ian, or whoever said that.
Still standing.
Whew.
He is breathing heavy.
Yeah, I would say if he's still standing at that point, I think I use its bonus action. Okay, additional action on each of the turns, so he would still have bonus action. I'm just checking something. Okay, nope, can't do that. Okay, yeah, that's it. I think he's gonna fall on this turn, though. Oh, wait, the other guys gotta do stuff. What am I saying? Sorry.
Yep. So while I think Yarvik is next, right?
Yep.
So while Yarvik is flying around watching the goings on, he says to Rift over the rings. I know that a great leader and a mighty dragon of your stature, this might be beneath you, but it would mean the world to our young kobold friend if he could ride a dragon. Maybe not yourself, if that you don't seem that worthy, but I know Zippo would find it of life-changing enjoyment if perhaps he would have this opportunity. And then he starts knocking arrows in fire.
Rift nods but says nothing.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a hit.
That's actually, I get a reroll because of piercing, so I can reroll once a turn. So I'm just gonna reroll that damage. Okay.
Off.
Dink.
Incoming on save.
Okay.
Look, not next, back to the barbarians. Let's see if I can make you fly like your friend. As Glorin seeks to mighty in hell, hell. So he's going to swing his axe up and try and uppercut you with it, with the flat of it, to launch you in the air. So it's
Okay. $26.
comes up. Very nice. Well, here you go anyway, and goes to swinging twice. Recklessly attacking. So that would be a 18 minus 5 14.
Miss. That's gonna hit.
And that is 27.
All works up.
Alright. Next we have first hit against Zippo is a 25.
Yep.
Second hit against Zippo is a 12.
Miss.
Uh, 12 damage.
Okay. Alright, half the cost.
That's a good con save.
That is very nice. Very nice.
Very bit.
All right.
No more healing from
What about the
that
heals?
user?
Yeah, you got 7 already.
Okay, yeah, I see
Oh.
that. 16 went up
6
from
was,
9. Yeah, got it.
Oh yeah, sorry I missed that. Okay.
All right.
So nice for. Gotta do it thrice. Good thing I have advantage.
Oof. There it is.
Alright, we're crit fishing right now. Oh, hey, okay. Hold on, I want to check something. We're all... Okay, yep, I already had advantage, so don't do that. Alright, so 13 was the lowest, everything else was above range of what I usually roll, so... I'm assuming 13 does not hit you.
13 does not hit.
Yep.
So 2
Ulrich
hits.
has just been... Yeah, Ulrich has just been silent this entire time. Sorry, that's not the button I wanted to press. Ignore that.
You just wanted to hit him one more time.
Apparently. What? Okay, 7 slashing.
And so any slashing is half, right?
Yeah, so that'll be 3 plus. Plus 7. I don't know what's going on my screen, but it's very different than what's coming through here.
Okay.
That's fun though. I'm happy that it's different because that would have sucked. Okay, so 10 total slashing plus, of course, 2 more spell slots for another 2d8 radiant. Uh, 8 radiant damage.
So that's 18 in total, right?
Yep. Yeah, there would have been radiant on the first attack, so it would have been 2 radiant on the first attack.
Oh, because the D8 each. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's that, and 7 plus 6 total, right?
Yeah.
Second attack.
For the second attack, that's right, yeah. Or, yeah. I've got you down at 134, assuming you're not, I've been having the...
Well,
The-
I got rolled 10 on the stone fight.
Ah, right, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm only at 24, so... Needed that last attack.
Alright, and then...
Whoever shoot the bow,
Yep, got it.
murder him.
Oh, very close. Not bad.
Yep, good hits. See how the saves go.
Okay. There you go, Josh. 14. Not natural ones.
Okay.
So he's still not.
Oh. Yep, you're good.
Alright.
It's a nice natural 20 there.
Next, first. Well, even with rage going, I think if I can't do something here, I think you might have it around.
I don't know. I think you got it. I'm only at 24.
Alright, he's gonna attempt to mighty impel you again.
Mhm.
So, swinging his axe, trying to make you fly. True strength. Check your strength.
I have advantage, or inspiration, so I'm gonna burn that. That's better. 29.
Alright. Again, missing with it. And sends down to 10 points.
That'll hit.
10.
That'll definitely hit.
Oh, it's 27, right?
Yep.
First one.
No, the second one doesn't hit.
Wait, why not?
18. You're at 18. 27 minus 5 is 20. Oh, yeah, never mind. You're right. I read that as 17. My bad.
Yeah, no worries.
Math's no work for me either. It's okay.
Alright.
I mean, Jesus. The first hit takes me, if that's
He
the
would
damage
not
you
swing
do.
he would not swing a second time.
Yeah.
Actually, if he hit, we'll say he attacked first. It's what I was doing, and then he looks over at Nex and say, "Raise your mom." And so instead of you being unconscious, you get 4 health just so you're conscious. Like,
Okay.
He won the strength. He won the fight. Like.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
Right. He knocks you out, and then instead of taking the healing himself, he directs Nexus to just bring you up just so you can watch the rest of the play out.
So what would I do now? Because my concentration is technically broke because Garfield put Garfield.
No. No, actually, it's not.
Because he's
Nope.
still up.
I mean, even if I was down, it doesn't. The spell ends only if you break concentration. It doesn't. You know, like.
I thought if they went down, they would.
Nope, nope. It doesn't work. Yeah. Great thing about invisibility too, in case you ever cast invisibility on something and it gets knocked out and you're still concentrating, it's still invisible.
Wait, isn't the contest over at this point? Like, we have a winner, right?
No, we still got us 2. If I break concentration first, or if he does.
The contest of strength is over. Now you have the contest of constitution and dexterity.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And then finally, Yaora will take her shots. This will attempt to actually deal more damage, seeing that the strength is over, trying to end it sooner, so it'll actually be a minus. It'll be a +5, +3. So 9 doesn't hit anyway, or doesn't hit because you're
Yep.
it doesn't hit.
Oh, damn. All right. Zippo doesn't need to make any con saves. All right. Moving over to the group. Yarvik, go ahead and shoot.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try the sharpshooter thing. So that is -5 to attack, +10 to damage, right?
Correct.
Hold on, let me find it. I don't use it very often. I don't know how to do it in the game, so I'm just gonna do it here, and then we can do the math.
Yeah.
So that's -5, so 9.
Yes.
Let's try it again. So 23.
23 will hit.
Nice.
So sharpshooter adds what? Or, sorry.
+10.
Should be
Plus-
20 damage.
20 damage.
Okay.
And so, that would just be a DC 10 con save, right?
Yeah, because I think con saves are half the damage, and then you have to beat that number. If it's anything lower than 10, it's 10.
That was close. Rolled, got a 10 total on the con save.
And Yarvik, you hit twice, correct? Once? Okay.
Yeah, first shot missed.
Okay.
Still, 20 is a pretty good chunk.
Alright, next to Barbarian's part of the initiative, I guess all there is, from a mechanical standpoint, is 2 rolls and shots. That would be 5, +5 would be 10, misses, again, oh, there we go, that'd be 21.
Yeah, my AC is 14. pass the toxic.
Nice. All right. Yarvik swoops into view with Rift.
Let's do hold on a second. I'm gonna do one regular shot first. See, I should have done sharpshooter.
That hits.
I'm gonna re-roll that. Oh, come on! Alright, I'm gonna do sharpshooter this time.
Alright.
I hate these dice. So, 15?
15 misses.
And you don't have inspiration, right?
No, I used that one a long time ago.
Okay.
Alright. Roll. Up. Okay. Well. Oh, no. That, my friends, is a 1. So...
Rip.
Nexus gives out a hearty laugh as he loses concentration on the spell.
So we win 2 out of 3.
All right.
Rick,
Or actually, we won 1, lost 1. Sorry, the sharpshooting one isn't over.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
My brain
So,
calculated those two together.
so technically, for the test of dexterity, it's how many shots you landed. So, drum roll, please. Let's see who won. Yaora hit 4 times against Zippo. Yarvik hit 5 times on Nexus. So the group
Yarvik flexes a tiny halfling right bicep on the way down.
the group wins by default.
Wouldn't that be just a step?
One shot.
Half of my step.
By 1 shot, yes. So let me get everything back in, and the whole area resets.
Ulrich hands over the axe.
Thank you. And even though I did defeat you, I would have given you my vote. You fought bravely enough. Your strength, I can rest assured that you will find about it.
Corbin was akin to a friend for a time. I was sorry that I had to kill him.
You could have been drunk. And he
Jesus
reaches out
Christ.
a hand, kind of like shaking, like, you know, I look forward to fighting you.
Ulrich will return it.
Yarvik on the way down after flexing his tiny bicep says to Rift over the ring, I appreciate your help in this contest, and I really hope that you would consider my request for Zippo. But don't tell him I asked. Don't tell him I asked. I want him to think that it's spontaneous.
Mo stands up and takes like the arrows that hit him out of his body.
Yeah,
And
Yarvik's
taking him out. He looks over to the test guy. He goes, "Told you I'm a better spellcaster." Just taking arrows out.
Yarvik gets over to the group and looks at everybody and says, "You guys look like a mess."
To that end, Rill is going to go around to the combatants who have suffered damage, casting Heal on the one who fell, and Cure Wounds on the rest, and calling them each a fool, and like actually punching Glorin.
Or after the healing.
After. Treatment first, pain later.
Ulrich, thanks for the heals.
Suppose saying that you're from the water when he goes, you don't happen to know Atlan, do you?
I don't know about you guys, but I could use some sausage. Like, I'm pretty sure they got some amazing sausage in this place. Also, can we get a break? We've been at it for a couple hours.
Yeah, let's take a 10-minute break, and then we'll get into the other two, if that's cool with Amy and Ian. Okay? So we'll take a 10-minute break, everyone, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. That's what a 10-minute break stands for, right? All right, we'll see you soon. And we are back from the break. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. So where we last left off, the group had just, by a hair, won against the 3 allied members of the Axe, Tusk, and Rock. Glorin overcame Ulrich, but the other 2 supports managed to pull it for the win. I believe Rill was being talked to by the group as Rill was healing the various harmed members from the either side. So I guess we'll start back there.
Yeah. Zebla's gonna be new Atlan.
Josh, I'm sorry. What?
So 2 things. One, Tim, are you going to stay off camera at this point?
I'm just eating an apple, so...
Okay. Because it rearranges the different panels.
I'll just keep it on then.
we're fine.
What you eat.
Yeah, you're fine eating an apple. You're totally fine. 2, you have no idea who Atlan is.
Okay, then I have no idea who that is.
Oh, okay. Zebra kind of just looks down, kind of sad.
Sorry.
It's okay. I just figured more people would know it, but I guess while we're across the wall, it's okay.
We've lost touch with all of our peoples beyond the wall.
Yeah, that one's a cool water element. He let me ride on his back. It was really cool. We went through a whole town. It was awesome.
All right. The rest of the council kind of collects themselves, and Nesset says, "Well, now that is over, I open it back up to the council to speak to these that address the group for any further questions they might have before it seems like we're heading toward a vote. This vote would be whether the council agrees to join in a union with the Seregen kingdom against the... Well, it seems like we need to hash that out, of course, before we hold a vote. But before we get there, it seems like there are still members of the group that might not be satisfied by this combat. I know I certainly am not. I open it up to the floor.
Certainly. What questions do you have for us? Ones that won't be solved by violence, hopefully.
I heard that one.
What is the plan long term?
We want peace between all of the peoples of this world.
Peace.
Peace
is wonderful. How do you achieve and maintain it?
I would submit that we have to survive the short term to get to the long term.
He's asking us about the long term. The long term... How do we maintain peace? by having some very dedicated people try very, very hard to get everybody to not kill each other. That's the only peace I have ever seen.
Does this council not already maintain a semblance of peace between all of the clans of Relic? I'm sure you come here to discuss business, matters of peace and commerce and war together. Maybe something like that would work with all of them, all of the leaders, the clans, the various nations of this realm.
Yeah, it does seem like everybody more or less gets along.
Let me ask you this. Would your leadership be interested in being in a council?
We were sent here as ambassadors. So yes. Absolutely.
What is your leadership like in Seregen?
In Seregen, we largely are one kingdom.
So you have one ruler, not a council.
That is correct.
How would your king feel about bending the knee?
I mean, we're sort of in between guys right now, I think.
So you
Does
say...
anyone- So, Yarvik would pose, does anyone in this council bend the knee to anyone else? I see before me a council of equals.
Think of it this way. A leader who has absolute rule tends not to listen to the advice of others of equal value. It took a long time for us to achieve that here, and it still, as he looks at certain members of the party who just fought you, still doesn't mean we all agree on every action therein.
Agreement is never going to be 100%.
And yet it must be in what you ask. We cannot have half of this group not agree to be part of this alliance. We will all fall.
You make my point for me. Together we stand, divided we fall.
I think you've missed his. He's asking...
I hope you're saying this over the rings. Because we don't want to subvert each other in open conversation in the middle of this.
Sure, I'll say this over the ring. Perhaps you've missed his point. He's asking, are all of the people of Seregen truly represented by this one man? Maybe you could have said that for our king, but what of his attempted usurper? Or whoever will come down the line next?
True, and I get your point, but we're just trying to sway them to our own internal messy politics.
Our own internal messy politics are about to start mattering a whole lot.
While
they are, but not right now. Right? Not right now.
While they are having this conversation over the ring, I don't know if it's on the open channel, or if it's just between them, Ulrich will not allow a lull in conversation, as the others have picked up on that real in particular previously, and says, as you may have gathered from my friend Belzian here, we come from the steward of our kingdom. Our king has fallen with no immediate heir. We are a land at the cusp of change. But this change, the falling of the wall, superseded that very personal change to our land. The importance of knowing what potential threat lied beyond the wall, and making sure that those threats knew Seregen meant no harm and only wished for peace.
That was the primary directive from the steward. That is why we 5 have come here, rather than an army. It is a land that is looking for peace. And we turn to you for this. We know that peace requires concessions. We went through years of war.
As I'm sure have you. As I'm sure have the elves and vampires and humans and such of Necrata.
Go ahead, Roll.
So you represent a nation without a leader. What guarantee do we have that who comes next shares your group's vision for peace after we fight and bleed and die in combat with these creatures? What guarantee do we have that whoever comes to the throne in Seregen next will not take advantage of our weakened state to expand their borders?
You are voting as a council of 11, not of 12. What guarantee do we have that the Eternals don't do something similar?
To second Roger's thought, there are no guarantees. We are entering into uncharted waters, or at least waters that have not been tread for many thousands of years.
Inspiration for the pun, because you're talking to a merfolk right now. I love it.
Unintended, but I'll take it.
Even better.
A degree of simple trust in the rest of the beings of this realm is going to have to be required. We're going to have to take from all of us. We're all going to have to take a leap of faith.
You hear Piran mutter under his breath, "Leap of faith, leap of faith, leap of faith." And then he shakes it off.
I will say again, we have been in these lands for some time now. The wall has not stood for, and forgive me, Josh, how long?
Couple months.
Couple months.
Well, a
2
month.
months.
Okay. At least a month. A month and a couple weeks, I think.
Okay. All right.
Over a month.
Yeah. For well over a month. Lauren, tell me, have we invaded your lands aside from us 5? I am perhaps ignorant in the actions of my land. It has been some time. But please, you have control of the lands to the east, as does Perrin and many others here. Have you seen war coming from the east? Or west, I don't know what directions are.
West, yeah.
Josh, before I answer, was it the axe that sent out the scouts? Was it the tusk? Was it just the axe that did the scouting on that side of the...
Tusk and Rock. So Rock did the scouting on birds, and then your 3 invaded south first. There have been some raiding parties to the west as well, but there have been no human attacks against the barbarian clans as of yet from Seregen.
Lauren kind of sits forward, glancing over at Eeyore and says, "No, we have encountered much resistance at all. our scouting hasn't shown any army swelling or even since we've sent some small raiding parties out in our region to the south.
There you have it. Though we do not have a king, we do still have a government. The king is dead. The king will live. We are representatives of our land. We are the only ones who have come this way. It is foolish to think that the world is oblivious to the fall of the wall. That is the assurance we can give.
So you're asking us and myself to blindly trust people that we know nothing about, who have spent a mere fraction of a second in our lands, put everything on the line for those people, risk our own lives and our people's lives on a leap of faith.
I'll be frank. I'm not really asking you to put your lives on the line. I'm asking that you respect the border the wall wants it enforced. We're not attacking you. I do not see a need for conflict. I am also offering that Seregen will gladly stand with you in the fight against the demons. I do not know if demons plague our lands, but I know they plague yours.
But even if you are apparently pledging to stand by our side, we have no guarantee that your entire kingdom will join you and agree with what you're saying. It seems an awful big risk.
Is anything in life a guarantee? No, nothing in life is a guarantee. And everything we do here could come to nothing. Could fall into ruin, and Heart's problem, we could kill each other. We could all kill each other in this room. But that's not going to help anything. At some point, all of us, to face the imminent threat before us, are simply going to have to learn to, in some capacity, work together, or we're all going to die separately. I would rather die giving my life in the service of this realm and all of the people in it to give us at least a fighting chance. As Ulrich said, we do ask that we just basically respect the bounds of the wall as it existed before, but we can talk about that after. We can convene a great conclave of all of the leaders of the lands after. But the existential threat that faces us right now, this demonic invasion, it's simply going to require us all to work together. And with that, Yarvik is just going to step down and light his pipe, because he's clearly kind of made his case. That's where he stands, and he's just going to kind of back off at this point. Yarvik is kind of becoming frustrated that nobody here is seeing the bigger picture.
May I ask, Mighty Deirdres, what assurance would you have from us? How can we commit ourselves? We have joined the Bronze Clans willingly. What can we... I understand that. You're not of the Bronze Clan. You are of the mighty Black... Is it the Black Clan?
Mm-hmm.
Apologies?
Yep.
Yeah, just making sure. And I understand that. What is it that would assure you?
She's gonna take a moment and just ponder. Like, you see her kind of like, go kind of like, just gaze off into the distance. to hear what the other council members' thoughts are. Because I know my main priority is to keep going the way that I've existed, to keep my people safe.
Rift speaks up and he says, "When these 5 came to my lands, their only purpose for joining us was to give us this message. We have not admitted someone into our clans for a very long time. And I knew that would not do any favors for those that," and he looks at Deirdre's, "might not appeal to the Bronze Clan. But I can say that they were only utilizing this alliance as a means to the end to be here right now. Every action that they have done has been in this singular effort, even before the demons invaded. And that, I think, is something to mention. This has been their mission since they entered our lands. Piran, you seem to know this group. Can you tell us more of that? Or perhaps the group would like to chime in their story about Piran. Either way."
We met him shortly after we crossed from the wall in eastern Seregen into western Relic. As Deirdre said, but a few seconds ago.
I was quite mad then. I was spouting out my warnings that you all took for madness. He gives a toothy grin and he says, "You know, the one that told you of the demons coming once upon a time? But none of you believed me, and you exiled me from the council. And yet, the wall fell, and they came. It's funny. I find it all hilarious that each one of you now doubts that destiny is real. This was foretold, and you all thought I was mad. I might be a little eccentric, but who wouldn't when the same words were running around my head every day, and yet no one else but my ears would listen to them. Listen to them and their words. They seem connected to this destiny as much as we all are.
Through the rings, Zippo's going to talk to everybody in the public. So I know it's probably not a good time, but we need to think of a time to mention it, that I was the one that took the wall down.
We can mention that after peace has been broken.
Weighing that. I mean,
Nah, let's just blame Jordan.
Yes, I like that idea.
I have a question, and forgive me, for I am ignorant of your lands entirely. But Real, I believe it is, correct?
Yes.
Your clan inhabits the seas and the waters. How do you feel about these matters of the land? Will the demons plague you? Will new lands to the west and south intrigue you? Did the wall go far enough down to block you? I do not know.
All waters connected to each other belong to the merfolk. And with the exception of the Eternals and the Dragons, no clan, no human can threaten our lands, can threaten our space. However, I believe in peace for all of our peoples. And I do not want to see war come to any, even those that might enjoy it. Throwing a look over at Glorn. How... I miss Bryn. His counsel was always valuable here.
I am sorry for his absence. Why is it, if I might ask, Real, that you cherish peace? You have one of the most protected clans. Your oceans now have grown considerably without the wall.
Our people prosper under peace. And everyone should have that opportunity.
Agreed. Wholeheartedly. And I would do anything for peace.
Yarvik kind of perks up, little thumbs up. This guy gets it. He's not going to say that, but
I have spent a lifetime dealing with division, conflict, all in the pursuit of peace, all in the hope that we can all live safely. And it seems that none of us here wish harm on our own peoples. Tenuous as the alliance might be between the members of this council, you respect it. And we know that we'll have to earn your respect and trust over time. I am curious, Lauren, While my people have not invaded this land, what of the south? I know that the elves have been cautious in their expeditions northward. But what of the vampires?
The injunction.
Yes.
From my memory of Once Upon a Time, is that similar to what would have happened here? Had they seen vampires much at all?
They've only seen one interaction of vampires.
And the elves themselves are mostly kind of
Yes. I mean, there's been resistance for sure, but the vampires, you have met that. Your groups have met them. There was one instance where you had a huge push south, cut out a large swath of land in that first initial invasion, and that invasion party was completely annihilated by vampires, just gone in a night. It was the night of the. It was the night of death. It's being called.
While we have not had much interaction with the elves, have tried to one time after successful conquests laid out a certain area, the vampires did annihilate it. Much thinking has gone into how best to counter them in the future. They are quite strong. They can take out the wrong forces and send them.
And turn them back against you.
I believe, Glorin, that you and I revere the same god. We're men of war. But I believe that our purposes of conquest differ. I respect your strength. The one consistent thing that I am hearing from you is you have not met resistance. In all of the instances since the fall of the wall, it seems that you have been expanding. You're not seeing peoples coming into your land with force until these demons have now arrived. I don't know much about demons. I'm just a simple country nobleman. But if a vampire can give you a little trouble, I can only imagine what a demon can do. The Axe Clan is mighty. And I think that they have wisdom in that might. So I turn to all of you. Why fight outward when the battle is already here inward?
And on that note, why stay and fight a battle when I can easily leave? Take my people and be safe elsewhere.
It's a good question. I suppose I don't know where you would go.
Of course not. You've been here barely enough to even know half of our
True. Would you go to my land?
I would go where my people would be safe. Where that is not a real concern.
But what if your people aren't safe anywhere because the demons are everywhere? Then what? You can only run so far before you run out of place to run. Being a dragon, you should be more confident yourself in killing stuff. Dragons are the almighties in the kobold culture, so you should definitely strive to live up to that instead of running like a chicken.
With no wings or head.
Sometimes it's not about killing. Sometimes it's about protecting what you.
Well, what better way to protect something than to kill the stuff threatening it?
But Deirdre, that is precisely what I am saying. I
Careful now,
here.
Zippo, says Rift in the Ring. And he whispers, Deirdre's is one of emotion. Play to that. Not anger, but value.
You and I share this value. We do not want to foolishly and recklessly attack. We want to defend that which we cherish. I cherish Seregen. And I come to you only asking that we not fight, that Seregen and Relic be united.
And let me ask you, have you ever seen the outcome of something like this? Have you ever watched everything you loved and cherished perish before your eyes?
Yes, I have. I am not as old as you, Deirdre. I am not nearly as wise as you, or strong. But I have lived, and I have seen hurt and pain. I have seen those I love die, sometimes twice over, sometimes by my own hand, because they threatened the peace of others. I do not come here asking with any grand delusions that anything we are heading forth on will be easy, or that it will be necessarily fully mutual beneficial to one another. You know, I recognize that, frankly, we have told you we're a kingdom without a king currently, that while our government stands, we do not have a head of state, and that we mean you no harm. And we don't have dragons. We don't have quite the union that you all seem to have. I think you could destroy us. But I think we would put up a hell of a fight. And it's that I'm trying to avoid. I do not know what it is I can do for you to earn your vote of confidence. But I vow I would. Do anything, quite frankly, you ask of me.
And what happens when your kingdom does appoint a leader? Will they honor the fact that we have this alliance? Or will they seek to do as humankind wants and try to expand their lands, thus interrupting the peace that we have brokered between all of us?
Again, we have yet, over a month and a half, come into these lands as attackers, aggressors. We have sent a peaceful envoy, which is what we are. I'm asking.
We might have lost you, Shade.
No, I'm asking
Okay.
for all the confidence in the world. I know that, but this is what we can deliver. Is we have been peaceful thus far. We have come seeking peace, not as aggressors, not with a war. And I am of some noble station. If it requires all of my agency to ensure that our head of state is one who will uphold that peace, then I will do that.
Yarvik is going to shake himself from his frustration. He's going to walk up. He's going to touch Ulrich on the arm. Ultimately, what you ask is unknowable. None of us here can read the future. We can only decide based on the facts that are present before us right now. Except for maybe Perrin, who seems to have had some foreknowledge of this. Perrin, is there a prophecy about what lies before us now? Is there any wisdom that you can provide on what happens after? What is there any prophecy that has been foretold?
The prophecy ended with the coming. It was a warning to be ready. We are behind. We are unready. And that's why you have my vote. Friends, brothers, compatriots, we need them as much as they need us, whether we'd like to admit it or not. The wall was put up because our nations could not stop fighting. So I understand that what they ask seems impossible. But the wall did not fix it. It delayed it. And now we are all weak for someone else to take advantage of.
I think we as a people of this realm, failed once. And we had to build a wall. We have an opportunity to make that right now. We have the opportunity to change this, to change all of our destinies before it's too late. I think we should seize this opportunity. 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, we may be at each other's throats again. But right here, right now, we have a chance to change that. I don't know the future. Nobody does. The prophecy ended. We're in uncharted territory, as I said before. We just got to take a chance.
Leo pipes up and says, "And what after we agree or disagree to your terms? What's next for you? There's one other
Well,
nation."
We have the much harder sell of asking the vampires the same question. But that's where we go next, regardless of how you vote.
And what's your plan after the three nations say they do agree? What next?
And I suppose we
We make
will
that
have a
council.
council. Yeah. We will have a council, and the council will make the next decisions.
It won't be in our hands anymore. It shouldn't be in our hands.
It's like the conversation would just be beginning.
We just want to bring you to the table. I want to build the table with you.
I'd like to hear more about this demon invasion. What caused it? Who is it? What do you know?
Zippo, show him the pictures.
Oh, he kind of grunts in frustration. Says, I've seen that. I need more.
Did the demon say his name whenever he was talking?
It's Orcus.
It's Orcus, yeah.
I can tell you what we saw.
So,
He's a big
so Zippo, you heard it as Orcus in Abyssal. The rest of the group heard it as Null.
Zippo will say Orcus then in Abyssal.
Nobody. What was that?
Orcus?
No, I think was the name.
Is that what he said? I thought he said no.
Oh, I heard Orcus. I guess I heard his whole speech though, so.
Maybe it's a lost in translation.
But a great demon with a giant staff and a horde that came before him.
I've seen the name Null before. It's been popping up lately. Whispers on the wind, writings on the wall, cults. Null is a god that was locked away by the 12.
It didn't seem like he got locked away for that long, because he's back. Speaking of writing on the wall, on our way here, we went through a nice little tunnel and solved a couple frustrating puzzles involving the 12, but there was mention of a 13.
That would be Null.
I have something I want Zippo to say, but I don't know if Zippo would say it. Trying to debate it, like, I so badly want Zippo to be like, oh yeah, the place with all the gold and the shiny stuff that I couldn't get to because the giant guy was sitting on the chair. I want Zippo to say it so bad. Great intelligence. Okay, he doesn't say it. He realized it would be a bad idea. If I had got below a 18 though, boy would have said it.
I would say that you can be intelligent and very unwise, and that is probably a wisdom save.
Oh, you're right.
That said.
Oh! Okay. But Zippo says, after that, he goes, oh yeah, the place that had all the gold and the dude sat in the chair with the giant hammer. He was huge. He was bigger than Rift. He was huge. And he had all the shiny stuff behind him, and I really wanted it, but we decided not to because we didn't want to wake him, so we didn't know if we could take him or not.
Yeah, that place.
What?
Oh, it was a tunnel, and Zippo like points up to like one of the chairs they're sitting. It's like it was like that, but like I'm not good with numbers. I just really kill stuff most of the time, so like maybe 17, 20 times the size of that. And he looked kind of like points over at
the barbarian
Glorin.
dude, and says Glorin, and goes, looks at him and goes, looks kind of like him, but more intimidating and scarier and bigger, which isn't hard, by the way.
I think we're getting off track. Let's table this discussion for later. I have interest in this as well, but I think it's distracting from the vote at hand. I am ready to call for a vote based off of the information and the plea of the party. But I open it up one last time to the council to ask their questions, to qualify their things before we vote. And might I remind you, it must be unanimous for us to agree to this. This is not something that some clans can agree to and some others can't.
I'm ready to cast my vote.
Okay.
Lauren looks to either side. Both Yaora and Nexus kind of nod like, I believe we are all ready to cast our vote.
Leo, Misk, Frit. Leo shrugs, Misk nods, Frit smiles. Rift and Pyrian both nod as well. Everyone turns to Deirdre's.
I'm assuming that, just quick, I'm assuming everybody's nod is that their vote or is that
No, they're just saying they're ready.
She'll give a small nod.
Okay. On the manner of the council versus the bronze members. For us to join in a temporary alliance until a further council is made against the demonic threat. The terms being that no nation shall attack the other until the demon threat is concluded, and then renegotiations will occur. All in favor who vote yes, say so now. And he basically goes around the circle. So I'll look at the circle. We'll go from the left all the way around back to him. So he'll vote last. So he turns to Nexus.
I vote yes. They proved themselves worthy allies. I shall bring back my cavalry, those that are still out there, and we shall make preparations for defense.
Glorin.
Even though I might have won our contest, he showed quite the spirit. I vote yes. Let us join forces at least for now, and we can figure the rest later. We shall have a grand battle against these demons.
Yaora.
Yes. Too much talking. They succeeded. Let's go. Let's do this.
Ril.
The merfolk shall stand with the council. Yes, we lend our support, and we will protect the seas for everyone.
Nesset pauses meaningfully at the empty chair. Misk. Misk nods, still saying no word this entire meeting. Of course, yes, says Pyrian, before he even says Pyrian's name. Leo? Yes, I vote that we join in this cause. Frit? He looks over at Rill and nods. Rift? Yes. Deirdre's?
Your interests seem to be the same as mine, protecting what is yours and not having to lose everything. In the spirit of not having to go through that ever again, you have my vote.
The vote is unanimous. Ulrich bows, you said? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying Ulrich bows at her vote.
The vote is unanimous. We are of an accord.
There's not much to be done.
Yes. I think before we make preparations for the rest of the meeting and the rest of what we need to discuss in order to turn toward this conflict, I think the discussion of how we can help them to accomplish their goal might be of use.
Yes, yes. I can provide them with a team with several of our rocks and clan members to get them there as quickly as possible. It seems like time is of the essence.
That it would be invaluable.
Yeah, we're not exactly good at getting places fast, so do appreciate that.
I get distracted by the shiny stuff too much.
Honestly, if you set a deadline for us, there's a good chance it's going to take us like an extra few weeks, months.
Just on foot.
Just on
yes.
foot, yeah.
Sorry we were late, by the way. Apologies. Thanks for waiting.
So we now head south. It seems some of you know a little bit more about Necrom than we do.
Oh.
Do you have any advice for how we might bring them to this council? To this alliance?
The vampires will be hard to reason with, but they do fear our unified nation. Having the strength of 2 kingdoms behind you may indeed help, but they would likely also expect something of value or of trade as part of the deal. The vampires are tenaciously methodical and seem to value life less than we do, for obvious reasons.
Maybe we go by where. So, since we're like looking around, thinking to himself, it looked like, can the rocks take us to a specific spot before we go meet the vampires? Because I do have a map that's in the vampire lands that I might want to check out. It may prove something we can use as a bargaining chip for the vampires.
We will try to take you as far as we can.
Zippo, like he's trying to hide it, but he's very happy now that he gets to go figure out what's on that map. He's just grinning as wide as can be, looking at the map, or not looking at the map, but thinking about the map.
While you're discussing the vampire stuff, there is a horn being heard from outside of the tower. Nesset sits up.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That would be an alarm. He raises, he makes a gesture, and basically the same setup from before happens, where the room begins to lift back up, so that you're at the top of the tower to look out. And what lays before you is what seems to be a small army at the gates of the city, starting to swarm around the eastern side.
Got it. Okay, the eastern side.
Mhm.
Not the western side, right?
Correct.
Okay.
You're like, oh man, everything we just did is going to waste because the humans are attacking. No.
I legitimately did think, I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, right? Yeah.
I knew Marius could be trusted.
No, what you see is a large group of demons beginning to assault Saraseta. And that, my friends, is where we're going to end session for today.
Dun dun dun.
Thank you so much, Josh, and thank you. Did the rest of you play this camp? I know Ian did. Did you all play together? Were you all in the same group?
So yeah, let me kind of peel back behind the curtain a little bit, because this is something that most of you did not know, and it is that this campaign has been run before. This is the 5th incarnation of this campaign that you are joining the ranks of when you finish, if you finish this campaign. The council meeting, when I run it, alumni from those campaigns are able to come back and act as council members, as part of kind of like the passing of the torch type of idea. We started that last incarnation, and when you finish the campaign, you'll be admitted into a Discord where you'll see all the other members. This group will rise that rank to 25 members, 25 people who have gone through this campaign. Ian,
That's so cool.
yeah. So Ian, who played Ril, was part of the first incarnation. He went through it back in 2004, 2008, I think.
Yeah, it was 08, yeah.
Amy was part of the 3rd incarnation, back before Gabrielle and I got married. In fact, the campaign started just before Gabrielle and I started dating, so that was a 2-year campaign.
I think you got engaged during the campaign.
Correct. Yep. Amy also had a child during the span of the campaign, so there's some milestones there.
A child.
What was that? Conceived and had a child, yes. And then Tim was from the most recent campaign, the 4th incarnation.
Ironically enough, it was right after the council meeting in my campaign that I found out I was pregnant with my child.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Word meant something else.
once you're through, you'll be able to compare notes with other members of the group and see what happened differently. But each campaign is very different. I create stuff based on the party, or I've expanded the setting quite a bit when it came to this incarnation, especially with 5th edition being in play and it being digital. Like, for example, the council meeting used to be just me for the first 3 incarnations. After that, it was something that I had this idea for. So, yeah, it's definitely been that's one secret that I've been holding on to for a while for you folks, because I like this reveal. Like, it's a fun little thing to add. So
Up until Mitch and Emily's reception just a couple of weeks ago, I didn't know that Shade was doing the wall campaign.
so Shade, you found out then?
Oh, did we not talk about it, Ian? I thought we had talked about the wall campaign before. In any case, no, I did not know that Ian was going to be joining us now, but I knew that Ian had played previously because you and I had. I thought all three of us had had a conversation about this at some point while Calcuria was still going on. But in any event, I did suspect Ian might be here today, just because you asked for to verify his phone number the other day. I was like, I think I know. I think I know what's up here. You know, it was even before that because you'd messaged in our Calcuria. You were like, Ian, I sent you a message. I was like, huh. But no, very, very good surprise. Thank you all so much.
Also,
Oh, go ahead.
I have to drop off actually, but before I go,
Same.
I was looking over the home brewery thing that you sent, Josh. Did you name a moon after my character?
I did.
Nice.
Actually, I've basically reverse engineered it that Rian was named after the moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I also have to go. I have to go meet a client, but thank you so much, everyone. Wonderful time.
And I'll end the session here, folks, and then we can say our goodbyes in Discord. But thank you, everybody, for joining in this special session on Saturday. We will be back on Tuesday. Are we doing Tuesday or not? What do you think, folks? We can discuss that.
I intended to.
Okay, so we will be back on Tuesday for our normal session. And for the rest of you who are watching the stream in VODs, thank you for being here. We'll see you then. Bye.